Hey guys, it's Andrew and welcome back to my channel. So as you know, we have a new Miss Universe, but before we reveal who that is, as I'm sure most of you watching this video already knows, we have a whole pageant to cover. So let's just get right into it. A lot of notes here to go over. So let's start reviewing or recapping the Miss Universe 2022 pageant. So I'm going to start off by saying that this is probably my favorite broadcast that they've had since 2017. Last year was great, but this year was just so fun. I think it was that they really dove into that New Orleans spirit and that feeling, and it was just a lot of fun this year. This year the pageant was broadcast on Roku channel for US residents, and then I believe YouTube for the rest of the world. My only criticism, or one of my only criticisms, is I was watching the broadcast in the pre-show, but then the live feed didn't cut in until around like 8:05, so I missed the opening segment that they filmed, and it really kind of cut in. Missed a few of the contestants, but luckily it was on, you could stream the pageant again on the Roku app, so I was able to see it afterwards. And then another thing, which wasn't necessarily Roku's fault, but when they were announcing the judges, the cameras were facing the wrong people as the judges were announcing them. It's a mistake, it happens. I've worked in live television before, and unfortunately, that does happen sometimes. It sucks when you're at a level of Miss Universe and the entire world is watching, but so Olivia Culpo and Jeannie Mai were the hosts of the pageant. Jeannie hasn't been a part of Miss Universe since I believe around 2014. She used to do a lot of backstage correspondent, and Olivia last hosted the pageant in 2020. And these two, I think, were match made in heaven. They were joined by Katrina Gray and Zuri Hall, who were doing the backstage commentary. I think this group was the dream team. They should come back every single year for at least the next 5 years. Get them on contract, Miss Universe, because they made this show great. I'm not gonna go too deep into the performances this year. They were all great, they were a lot of fun, but I do have to give a special shout out to Yolanda Adams during the final look. She's every woman, and it was a great performance. They also did a few like special segments throughout the competition, as they always do, featuring the contestants. They were fun. Some of them were more serious topics. One in particular was the one on cyberbullying. Our reigning Miss Universe 2021, Harnaat Sandhu from India, was heavily, actually brutally cyberbullied based on her weight gain after winning the crown. As somebody who's been cyberbullied, it's just not fun to experience, and the delegates speaking on it, and it just really showed that the organization does care and does stand by these women. All right, now it's time for the competition. But first, we have to cut it down to the top 16. So the top 16 were Puerto Rico, Haiti, Australia, Dominican Republic, Laos, South Africa, Portugal, Canada, Peru, Trinidad and Tobago, Curacao, India, Venezuela, Spain, USA, and Colombia. There were a few heavy favorites that were snubbed from the top 16. Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, Mexico, all fan favorites, all people that we were anticipating making that final group. But overall, this top 16 was very strong. Something new they did this year was, instead of cutting between swim and evening gown, all 16 contestants got to compete in both swim and evening gown, which the niceness in me is like happy, because these girls do prepare so much to get to the Miss Universe stage. It is years, sometimes their lifetime of preparation to get here. And of course we're gonna wanna see them perform and give them the chance to do both competitions. But then the competitor in me is like, I kinda wanna know who those top 10 would have been. So anywho, swimsuit competition, they all had capes, and this year they got to personally design their capes, paint them or work with a designer, but they're inspired by something that's important to them or inspired by their country, and it was a cool idea than just having them all wear identical capes. But I like that they had capes, unlike at Miss USA where they just walked out in swimsuit. I like when they have something to play with on stage. It makes it more of a fun segment to watch. My best in swim was Miss Dominican Republic. So in between swimsuit and evening gown, we met the new owner of the Miss Universe organization, Miss Anne, and I'll put a video in the cards right here where I kind of introduce Anne to you guys and let you know who she is and what she's done. So definitely go check out that video if you're interested in learning more about Anne. But anyway, she was coming out to present the Impact Wave Award, which was given to Miss Universe Thailand. Evening gowns. I love the evening gown competition. It is an opportunity for the delegates to show their elegance, their personal style, their personalities, and most importantly, to me at least, their star power. This is often when I get the visual image of the winner in her winning look. They all did great. No mess ups, no trips, no falls, which is always rough with the evening gown and stairs and those high heels, but they all handled it perfectly. My best in gown went to Miss Universe Puerto Rico. So then it came time to narrow the field down to the top 5, and they are Venezuela, USA, Puerto Rico, Curacao, and Dominican Republic. So we almost immediately went into round 1 of Q&A. So these questions were all different. They were asked by the selection committee to each of the delegates. The topics were turning shame into fuel, Miss Universe eligibility changes, if crowned Miss Universe, how would you represent the delegates that you competed with? What would you discuss with your country's leader if given the opportunity? And then obstacles that women face and what should be done. Round 1 was very good. It's been a while, I feel like, since we've had one of those viral pageant answers, which is great because I've never personally done this, but I feel like answering a question in front of an all-live audience is terrifying enough, but then when it registers that you're also speaking to millions of people watching around the world, I could see where somebody might get nervous and lose their train of thought. So they all did very well considering that. Nobody had a mess up, and I feel like they're really driving home how important that question and answer round is. I would say my favorite answers were probably Dominican Republic and USA, not necessarily for how what they answered, but how they spoke. They spoke very clearly and they had passion behind what they were saying. And I feel like, yes, what they're saying is important, but how they deliver it is also very important in the judging process. Then the pageant honored Chesley Christ, Miss USA 2019, so unfortunately passed away last January by suicide. And they showed a nice little video of Chesley's legacy as Miss USA. Then they brought out Chesley's mother, April, to speak, and she announced a partnership with NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and they established the Chesley C. Christ Memorial Fund for mental health, and they're going to be focusing on a lot of things, but especially high-functioning depression, which is what Chesley struggled with. It's just still so shocking and still hard to believe that something like that actually happened, but it just goes to show you need to check in on your strong friends, you need to check in on everybody, not just people who are struggling visibly, because you never know what's going on behind closed doors. So then it was time for the top 3 announcement. Top 3 are Dominican Republic, USA, and Venezuela. So then it came time to the final question, and all 3 delegates were asked the same question, which was, if you win Miss Universe, how would you work to demonstrate this as an empowering and progressive organization? All 3 did very well, but I think Venezuela had the quote of the night when she said, "I'm a fashion designer by profession, but I'm a designer of dreams as a woman." That was like jaw-dropping. So after the final question, the last phase of the competition is the final look, where they were accompanied by Miss Yolanda Adams, singing I'm Every Woman. Great final look, a lot of fun. And this is it. This year was tough. Normally at this point, I'm like, I know who's gonna win. At this point, I was thinking it was a toss-up between Venezuela and USA. I was like thinking, I think it's gonna be one of them. But before the crowning moment, they had a special announcement, and they told us that the 2023 Miss Universe pageant, or the 72nd edition of Miss Universe, is going to take place in El Salvador later this year. So I'm gonna guess probably around November or December. So after that, Arnaz Sandhu of India, Miss Universe 2021, took her final walk. Arnaz was great. Arnaz dealt with a lot of stuff during her reign, most importantly, her period equity program. I'm not sure if that's exactly what it's called, but she's done a lot of great work, and I'm excited to see what she does next. So now it's time for the crowning moment, thing we all were waiting for. First, they announced Dominican Republic as the second runner-up, which meant we were down to Venezuela and USA. And like I said earlier, I think it was a toss-up. Either one of them could have taken the crown. But it was announced that our first runner-up is Miss Venezuela, which meant that Miss Universe 2022 is Miss USA, Arbany Gabriel. After 10 years, the crown is back in the USA. And funny enough, the last time it was in the USA was when Olivia Culpo won back in 2012. So now she hosted and she was able to crown her USA successor. And Arbany is also a queen that's been going through a lot. The whole Miss USA 2022 class has been dealing with a lot. I'm happy for her that she was able to come in here and prove herself yet again. I think she's going to be a great Miss Universe, and I'm very excited to see. So that's a wrap on Miss Universe 2022 season. If you guys like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Leave a comment down below on what you thought of the pageant, who your favorites were. Follow me on my pageant Instagram page, Mr. Congeniality Pageants. That's Mr._Congeniality_Pageants, where you can keep up with more pageant news throughout the rest of the year. And remember to hit subscribe. I will be putting out a new video. Since USA won Miss Universe, that means we're going to be getting a new Miss USA. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be our first runner-up? I hope so. And I will see you guys very soon. Bye.